No screams escaped, no records remained, but the walls of Unit 731. Remember, everything during World War II deep within Japanese-occupied China. Hidden behind military fences and silence, a facility was built that would go on to become one of the darkest chapters in human history. It was known simply as Unit 731. But what happened inside was far worse than war. It was not a hospital, not even a prison. It was a place where science and sadism became one. Where doctors wore white coats but wielded scalpels like executioners here. Men, women, and even children were dragged in, shackled, and stripped of identity. They were called logs, not people logs, to be cut open, experimented on, disposed of like firewood. Living prisoners were deliberately infected with diseases like the plague, cholera, and anthrax. Just to observe the decay, some were left to rot in isolation, some were locked in chambers and frozen to death limb by limb. Their flesh shattered like glass in extreme cold, then thawed. To study tissue breakdown, many were operated on without anesthesia, organs removed, brains sliced open, veins injected with chemicals. They were alive, fully conscious, and screaming as the doctors scribbled notes, calling it valuable data. Pregnant women were raped and then dissected to observe fetal infection. Twins were mutilated to compare biological responses, and entire villages around the base were used for field tests. Biological bombs dropped on civilians just to see how quickly death would spread. Over 3,000 human beings were destroyed in that lab, and yet not a single scientist was brought to justice after Japan surrendered. The doctors of Unit 731 offered their research to the Americans in exchange for immunity, and the deal was accepted. Their war crimes were erased from history, buried under classified files and political convenience. No international trial, no punishment, nothing today. The grounds of Unit 731 remain cold and still, but if you listen closely, in the silence you might hear the ghosts of the forgotten, crying for justice, because this was not just a secret. This was a crime against humanity carved into the flesh of the innocent, and the world let it fade away.